Alright, so I'm going to do the first episode of Scott Pilgrim Takes Off. In anime form, 8 episodes in season 1, so let's get into the first episode. Now, I never technically read the manga, but I have seen the movie, obviously, so here we go. So we see Scotty's having this dream, he's in this desert or something like that, and this girl on rollerblades rides by and everything. So apparently he's been having this dream for like, I don't know, a long time. We find out he's actually roommates with his gay friend, this dude by the name of Wallace. Yeah, Scott's not gay, they're just friends or whatever. Anyway. It's pretty much Wallace's apartment. He's just letting Scott live there for a little bit. So anyway, Scott has got this band. He's in this band with this dude named Steven and Kim. They're called Sex Bomb. This dude by name Young Neil's watching the band. He actually wants to be in the band, but he's not in it yet. Then we have this chick by the name of Knives who's in love with the group. But more importantly, Knives is kind of, sort of Scott's girlfriend. He's not really claiming it, but obviously she is because of the fact that, well, Scott is like 23 and she's 16. So it's like, yeah, you don't want to claim that. But she actually genuinely loves the band, so she's going to show up for every little performance and practice and stuff like that. So it gets to the point he takes Knives home, and then all 4 of them are going out to a party. Steven, Kim, Neil, and Scott. So the party's hosted by some chick named Julie. So anyway, as soon as they get to the party, everybody splits up and do their thing. Scott's like, really? Okay, so he's just walking around getting something to drink, and then he sees the girl of his dreams. So they get to talking. The first thing he brings up is like some old Sonic cartoons. She was kind of with it for a little bit, and then he just like dipped off. I'm just like... Then he ends up talking to Julie. So then he starts describing her to who he's talking to, or whatever like that, drew a drawing out, and then she's like, yeah, that's Ramona Flowers. She's from New York. The thing is, she's giving him all this information, but then she's like, yeah, I forbid you not to date her. You're not dating her. But Scott don't care anything about that. He's thinking to himself like, yeah, whatever. He ends up leaving the party, and he goes to the house, and he's talking to his roommate, trying to figure out what movie to rent. He sat by the door waiting for the movie. I think the way it showed it looked like he waited days. I'm like, what the heck? Then he hears that knock at the door, and who of all people is delivering the package? Ramona Flowers. So they get to talking, and they end up setting up a date. They had a chill, laid-back, cool date. They were swinging on the swings or whatever like that. Then the wind started picking up and started getting cold. She took her to this random door in the middle of the street, but it turns out it ended up being her apartment. They get real cold. Ramona fixes up some tea. And she was going to get him a blanket, but he felt like it was taking a while, whatever like that. So he goes in there, and he's like, yeah, you doing all right? And then all of a sudden, he sees her changing or whatever. Then she starts kissing them. They get in the bed. I'm like, all right, you better get with the business? Well, not quite exactly. It's one hell of a first date, considering. The next day she gets him up. She's like, yeah, you gotta go because I gotta work. She's like, all right, cool. Then he's like, before I go, will you come to my performance? It's called the Rocket Spot or something like that. So she says she'll be there. It's at like 9 p.m. or something like that. So he goes back to the house with Wallace. He's all gloating. He's like, yeah, I got my girl. And then Wallace is like, yeah, you need to break up with Knives though. Then he gets this letter in the mail. So like Scott's reading this letter. He's like something about, dude named Gideon, something about evil exes. He's like, what the fuck? Then he just tosses it in the trash as nothing. And then we get this like side, back, whatever. It shows this dude by the name of Gideon. He's got all these like cameras set up or whatever like that. Then he's standing next to this dude by the name of Matthew. And apparently Matthew wants to kill Scott Pilgrim. So we're like, why? Apparently the 7 evil exes thing is real. And apparently they're all Ramona's 7 evil exes. So it's like, so now we get to the concert. Sex with Bomb is there. Knives is there so she can see her boyfriend. Even Wallace showed up. And Wallace showed up with Scott Pilgrim's sister. I think her name was Stacy. Now Scott starts freaking out because he sees Knives, but out the corner, he actually sees the Ramona came too. So he's like, the fuck? And of course, he did not break it off with Knives. Boy. And there was this group coming on supposed to be called Crashing the Boys, but they ended up canceling, so now they gotta go up next. So they're on stage, the crowd's getting live, and then you see in between the crowd, Julie's there, and Julie's talking to Knives and Ramona, so you're like, oh boy. So Scott's looking like, let's get it going. They start jamming out. So as they jamming out, the crowd's feeling it. All of a sudden, Matthew pops out of nowhere. So he started talking about he's one of Ramona's evil exes, and Scott didn't even take the note seriously. He was just like, really? Then Ramona talks about, yeah, I dated Matt like back in middle school. I only kissed him once, that was it. Because it was beating up the jocks on the football team or whatever. Apparently, Matt has mystic powers, and Ramona used her brute strength. So anyway, Matt and Scott are about to fight. It's set up like a whole video game. They set up for their punches. He missed Matt, and then all of a sudden, Matt connected with Scott, and all of a sudden, he turned into coins. I was like, wait, what? Scott lost? I don't remember that from the movie. This is crazy. Hold up. And that's basically how episode 1 ended. Though, like I said, it's 8 episodes all together. You know about to check the rest of them shits out? You already know what it is.